Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 7 of creating Gamerboss Park inside Planet Coaster 2. The first thing you may notice is that the video format has changed. So, instead of me building while trying to figure out what to say, I've decided it would be best if I did a time lapse of me building the ride or area while talking about what I'm making, as well as inspirations, and what I was originally going to build before arriving at the final result. Once the time lapse is over, I will transition into real time and show off what I've produced during the time lapse. It's simple and gets the job done quickly. To be fair, the original format in the series felt like a mouthful because I would try to blare out some words out of my mouth due to not having a script to work with in the first place, which resulted in me sounding boring during the videos, which may have been the reason the past few episodes haven't performed well, so I decided to change things up a bit. But enough of that. As you can see on screen, I'm creating the first flat ride in the park, a teacups ride of course, for the little ones who aren't tall enough to ride G-Force and need something to do. Speaking of flat rides, I was able to get G-Force to run on 2 trains. Originally, while one train was going through the course, the other would stop at the top of the lift. But after some tweaking, I got the 2 trains to work properly, so that's a W in my book. Returning to the teacups ride, as you can see, it will be given a steampunk style to go in with the rest of Creator Central, as that is the concept for the main area. The original park contained a raised terrain section, so I thought it'd be interesting to incorporate that. The framework I'm designing around the ride is inspired by Epic Universe's Constellation Carousel. We can get inspiration from it, but we can't copy it since this is my park, not someone else's. The structure is being decorated with gold on each of the panels, though a couple of them had to be opened up to keep it from being too close to the guests and to allow the operator booth to fit more comfortably. For the top, all I did was put a couple of parts from the sorcery pack, but I left some space for a small touch I added: the Creator Central logo, which with the help of a screen, some photopea, I was able to trace it with some shapes, and eventually I had to delete the screen. For the colors I'm using some blue, silver, and also gold colors to really give off the vibe. First off, all I did was go online and find a color palette, mainly a steampunk blue color palette, went with the one I like, and then applied it to the main area. Now as you can see, all I'm doing is just applying the metal rods all around the ride to help bring the detail to maximum. It's also so that it can be more stable. Now, I'd like to discuss what I had before the teacups ride. If you saw the original series, you may be familiar with what I'm about to discuss in a moment. But if you haven't, then what are you waiting for? So, in the original park, I put an observation tower in the center. It was sort of themed, but there was a lake surrounding the ride, albeit not a large one. And there were also water fountains pointing right in the center. This was in Theme Park Tycoon 2 on Roblox, by the way. Aside from the tower, the area also had a Ferris wheel, a teacups ride, a scrambler, a carousel, and a wild mouse styled after Baldi. The main section featured a blend of European and turn-of-the-century themes, with a focus on old amusement parks from the past. And because those rides are considered art check, I felt it would be ideal to place a Baldi coaster in that location. But instead of a schoolhouse, I styled it as a carnival instead. Unfortunately, this did not last long, as Universal revealed the information for Epic Universe and the lands that will be included. So, as I looked at it, I told myself the main area could use a massive overhaul. So my brain went back to the drawing board and revived the notion into something better, which sadly resulted in both the observation tower and Baldi being ejected out of the park because they began to feel out of place over time. Now we're in the present day, and I needed to come up with a ride that would fill the center. Some of my possibilities for filling the space include a teacups, a carousel, or a Nebula Z. Out of the three, the teacups received the green light. Finally, I was able to come up with the name Imagination Twirl. I chose the name because, despite the steampunk motif, Creator Central's main focus is on creativity, which plays an important role when it comes to video creation. What you are currently seeing right now, I'm just setting the terrain all the way up while also bearing in mind that it's perfectly aligned with the path as much as possible, because, like I said before, is a nod to the original park. Also, once again, if you haven't seen that already, go ahead and watch that. Another thing worth discussing is the areas that are coming to the park. There's going to be a pirate area, a Viking area, a woodland area, a jungle area, a racing area, mostly automobiles and aircraft, a western area, a spooky area, a sci-fi area, which will return under a new name. We'll have the wing coaster and drop tower along with it, a medieval area, that will depend on how much space we have left, and finally, a mystery area that will not be revealed until later in the series, so stay tuned for that one. For the coasters that will be added to the park, I intend to have around 22 to 24 total. It used to be around 27, but that has since been reduced. And the reason for this is that if this were a real park, it would break the record for having the most roller coasters of any theme park in the world, surpassing Magic Mountain. But this may change since these adrenaline monsters take up a lot of room. So we'll have to be cautious of how much space we are consuming. On screen here, I'm just building out the sign using the letters provided in order to spell out Creativity Twirl. The entrance sign was originally going to be a dome, however, it was colliding with the queue path. I have since reduced it down to an arch, and I'm also putting in an armillary just for some cool decoration. After I finished building the sign, my focus was then onto the queue path, since I didn't want to leave it empty, which meant I covered up using the hedges on each and every single one of them. And for the surrounding area to be much more prettier, I went and spammed in a bunch of bushes, flowers, and some other small plants around the ride. And believe it or not, it has been 1 year since Planet Coaster 2 came out. It's crazy how this game got launched last year. Although the game had a rough start, its current state right now is much better than its release on day one. And it did manage to become one of my favorite games of all time. However, as much as I like Planet Coaster 2, there was some stuff I think were overall better in Theme Park Tycoon 2. For example, you were able to change the height on any of the tower rides, but were unable to change the operations. Another example is that the other game did a better job at accuracy for the attractions, such as the multi-launch coaster. But that doesn't mean I hate Planet Coaster 2. I like it, but at the same time, I think it could have been better. I haven't played the original Planet Coaster, the one that started it all. But once I have enough money to buy it, I'll be sure to check that out. shifting gears, I went ahead and installed the lighting on each side of the structure because nobody wants to navigate in the dark. However, we encountered a problem. You see, I was originally going to have it come with a lighting package, with it being synchronized while the ride is operating. Sadly, the artillery orbs cannot be triggered, so you are unable to have it change colors while triggered, so that's a bummer. But hey, it's still cool, right? Since the show building for G-Force had a bunch of parts sticking out, the only solution that was available was to cover it up with a huge wall as the same color. Well, it looks like we're reaching the end of the time lapse. So I say we go ahead and switch into real time. Here we are, back in my park. There's G-Force. We go through the metal detector, then through the archway. There goes G-Force again. Should we go to the left or to the right? I'm going to the left. Up ahead is the Gizmo Grill, which is more so of a table restaurant, and just recently, the Teacups Ride, also known as Creativity Twirl. As we go under the arch, aka used to be dome, all around this beautiful garden. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me, comfort, out of the way, beep beep. Excuse me. Nope, no need to go. Finally, I've been waiting for ages. Is it okay if I stay with you guys? Oh, we're going. Now, as the ride is about to go, we're spinning. Whee! Round and around we go. Are you having fun? This guy's enjoying it. Is it over? Is it over? Nope, it's not over. Wait, we're going the opposite direction. Because it's going the opposite direction, the left gear is now activated. We're getting close to the end. Thanks for letting me sit with you guys. What a ride. Besides that flat ride, I also went ahead and expanded up on the pathway. In order to prevent making this look like an ugly mess, I went ahead and delete some holes in the paths and filled them up with some rocks, some trees, and lastly, some machinery. I was gonna try and have this section of the path be lowered. However, I was having a ton of difficulty trying to achieve that. Now over here is a pretty big gap. Although it's pretty much filled with trees and flowers and stuff, the area inside is quite large. I was thinking of putting a dark ride in this section, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Well, friends, that concludes today's episode on Gamerboss Park. If you enjoyed the new video format, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll be happy to have some of your ideas in my park. But stay tuned because next time we're gonna get started on the pirate area. With all that said, goodbye!